9 months and 65 videos later, Redstonemelon has finally reached 1,000 subscribers, which is something I never thought I would get to say, despite the last 9 months being a slow but upward trend towards 1,000 subscribers. I really thought it was just going to take forever or it would never happen. So to be able to say that, I feel incredibly proud, and I just want to say thank you if you've ever watched any of my videos, even if you've subscribed, which is a bigger thing. Just thank you. It means a lot to me. The fact that this channel has done any sort of progress at all and that it's achieved anything is bizarre to me. So thank you. So as I typically do for these update videos, I'm going to go through some of the videos that I've uploaded in the past 9 months, which is since the last update video, which I think is the shortest time span between update videos actually. But I'll go through my best performing videos, what I'm going to take away from that for the future, and just some changes which have happened since the last video, last update video, and just some other general topics. We'll try to keep it shorter than 30 minutes this time. So firstly, all the videos I've uploaded since the last update video over the past 9 months have accumulated 55,384 views whilst I'm talking. The top 5 were changes to Nessa's post-final shape campaign, which was a full-length video, 12,656 views. A short, which was Shiny Lad on Nessus, which was actually taken from a bit of the Nessa stuff as well, which got over 11,000 views. Now it's a short, so it's not quite as spectacular, but it's decent. The Taken Blight public event has changed, which was also a bit of a shorter video, but I think it was actually quite good. 6,672. A Strange Ghost in the Pale Heart, 5,028 views. And How Do We Get to the Infinite Forest, which got 2,354 views. There's also a few others, which is like the Terraform or Not the Terraform, which was talking about Nessa's skimming or no Guardian skin before, which was a very fun video to make. Riven's Wishes, Access Your Vault from Anywhere, Melon Reacts to the Final Shape developer stream and whatever. And then the last two, which got over 1,000 views, were also Melon and Sidekick React to the Final Shape trailer. And then Chiasmus Weekly Mission Playthrough. I don't know why that one got 1,000 views, to be completely honest. It just seemed to do well. I think people struggled with that mission a bit, so they were looking for a playthrough to follow as well, from judging from the comments. But regardless, those are all the videos which actually got over 1,000 views since the last update video. So out of 65 videos, 12 have surpassed 1,000, and there's been a few which actually got quite close to 1,000 as well. So overall, I think those are the best performing videos for like a certain amount of time on my channel. Like, we're definitely doing better than we were doing a year ago, so that's quite nice to see. The big thing to take away from this is practically every single one of those videos is a video where I'm talking. Sidekick's also involved in some of them, but the main important thing is they're all basically commentaries, which is something which I've lent more into since the last update video. I've been doing more and more commentaries, and they've just been doing very well. And looking back in the history of my channel, commentaries have always historically done better than just like gameplay and smaller videos like that. So commentaries, who would have thought? Going forward, I'll make more of those. I'll try to think specifically more speculation videos as well, because the How to Get to the Infinite Forest video, despite being completely wrong in that it was a backup on Nessus that we got St. Bertine's body from, and not actually a door to the Infinite Forest or anything like that, it was still fun. There was a lot of speculation in the comments, and I think it was just really it was quite fun for me. I think people quite enjoyed the speculation as well, judging from the comments and the likes and all that, and how many subscribers I got from the video. So overall, pretty happy, and I think I'll continue doing that sort of stuff in the future. Shorts also seem to be good, depending on what short I make, but usually like I'm trying to make them complement videos now as opposed to being standalone things, and that seems to work quite well too. Before I move on to the changes and everything, one thing I want to address is in the last update video I mentioned that shorts seemed to have like a period of a couple hours, about 6 or 7 hours after I uploaded them, where they would just get a ton of impressions and the views would just like shoot up for, I don't know, like 2 or 3 hours, and then they would just plummet again. I've started having that happen with videos. I don't know if it's just because my channel's getting bigger or what it is, but it seems like YouTube, a couple hours after the video's uploaded, just recommends it to a bunch of people, so the impressions go really high, and sometimes the views also go high at that stage, and sometimes the views stay pretty much the same, at which point if the views stay the same, typically it then does another round of high impressions like a few hours later, where YouTube must have found the correct group to recommend it to, then the views go up. So it's really weird. I've never observed that prior to like the past few months, but it's been very interesting. It's strange that I saw it in shorts before I saw it in my actual videos, but I wonder if it's because my videos are now doing consistently better, that it's like, people like this guy. So, I don't know. Moving on to changes, which have happened over the past 9 months, roughly. I'm not quite sure about that, but I definitely didn't talk about them in the last video. So, in the last 9 months, obviously we still have Sidekick in videos, and she is actually now making thumbnails. So a lot of the thumbnails that you will have seen since the last update video are actually courtesy of her. I do make a couple still just by myself, like the changes to Nessa's post-final shape campaign was me. You can also tell because it's very basic. But I did then take a recommendation from her after I'd uploaded it to change it a wee bit. The Taken Black Public event has changed was also one that I made myself. And again, it's a very basic thumbnail. But then, you know, the strange ghost in the pale heart, how do we get to the infinite forest, the terraform or not the terraform, skimming or no guardian skim before, all of the Raven's Wishes thumbnails, access evolve from anywhere, and then like the reaction ones are all completely her. The ones which are in the old style, such as Chiasma's weekly mission playthrough, were obviously me, but for the most part she's taken over thumbnail production, which I'm very happy about because I despise making thumbnails, mainly because I put all my like energy and creativity into the videos, and then you end up having to make a thumbnail, which I have no idea about making. So, and I just don't like investing the time into it, so I'm very glad that that's taken off my shoulders. I have in the past spent time on thumbnails, like quite like a good few hours over a few days. Usually it's for the cinematic video, the cinematic edits, and they turn out pretty good. But if you've just made a full video, the last thing, at least I want to do, is make a thumbnail for it. But thumbnails are really important for getting people to click on your video. So, yeah, I'm glad she's making the thumbnails now. In addition to that, I've also branched out a bit. As I've said, with doing so many commentaries now, I've also branched out into doing like some sort of guide. So Access Evolve from Anywhere was a bit of a guide. I've done more speculation videos. I've sort of continued doing the reactions to like trailers and intro missions and stuff, but I've sort of lent a bit more into them, and I've also brought a Sidekick into them, which has been quite good. At least it's been more enjoyable for me to do that. I think it's translated into the videos too. I think it's worked quite well. I've also done a live stream for the first time in a very long time, many years. I was just going through a legendary campaign mission for for the final shape, but I did quite enjoy it. A couple of people came along, and I might do it again in the future. I'm not going to get properly into live streaming because I just enjoy making videos. The occasional live stream every now and then I think is quite fun, but I guess look out for them. But I'll probably just sort of randomly do it and whatever. And the final sort of thing is my PC specs. So right now I'm sat at my wee PC, which is a server, which is at my parents' house because I now sort of have moved out kind of. My actual computer is in the other place, and that computer has been upgraded. So I'll go into it properly probably in a video in a wee while because I could talk about my computers for a very long time. But basically, I upgraded from the 5700 XT, which if you've been on the channel for a while, you'll know that some of my best performing videos are actually tech videos, strangely enough, to do with that graphics card. So I upgraded from that graphics card to a, I think, 7700 XT, and it's a Sapphire Pulse instead of a Sapphire Nitro Plus. Anyway, the old one is now in this wee small PC here, and this was meant to be a server originally, but because of the whole sort of moving out, this has now had to be my computer away from home. So, yep. I also upgraded my processor, which is the more important thing, because I can now render videos much faster. Do I remember what processor I put into it? I think it's a 5800X, a Ryzen 7 5800X. I don't know, something like that. But it's like a 8-core processor. It renders videos in like half the time of the length of the video, basically. So if it's a 10-minute video, it takes 5 minutes. I think it's even shorter than that. It's really good. I'm really happy. I don't use graphics cards to render videos, just because I'm silly, I suppose. But yeah, so that's nice. That does impact YouTube because it renders videos faster, so I'm able to make more videos. Yay! Also, the fact that if I make a mistake in a video, I'm not as hesitant to re-render it mid-upload, which I've had to do a couple times in the past. So yeah, that's good. General future of the channel things. Obviously, now that I've reached 1,000 subscribers, you could look and be like, are you going to try to aim for 2,000 subscribers? And my answer to that is basically, whilst it would be nice to reach 2,000 and beyond, it's not my goal. The same way that starting out 1,000 wasn't my goal, but 2,000, you know, now 2000 isn't my goal either. If we end up being at 1900, then yeah, I guess it will become my goal again. But at the moment, I'm somewhat relieved that we've reached 1000 because I was pushing myself a bit more there. Not even just to make more videos, but just it was like a bit of a weight on me. Like I need to get to 1000. So now that we've reached there, I'm very happy. I'm very content. I'm quite relieved. So I'm just happy that we've reached 1000. I'm gonna chill with that for a wee while, keep uploading videos. But my main objective with this has been always just to have fun and make videos people enjoy. So as long as I'm having fun and people are somewhat enjoying the videos, I think we're going pretty well. So the goal isn't 2000, but certainly the goal isn't to not grow my channel. So if we reach 2000, it'll be very nice. So yeah. I will also continue to branch out, as I've been saying, with the different video ideas. I'll do more commentaries and such. People seem to like that, so yeah. One of the last topics is just the general state of Destiny. I've not really talked about it on, like, at all, really. The past, like, over a year and a bit, since Lightfall, really, Bungie has just been collapsing. Like, it's been bizarre. They had a bunch of layoffs after Lightfall, because Lightfall just was very poor, basically. And then they had a bunch of layoffs, I think a week or two ago now, post Final Shape. Again, because Final Shape didn't actually perform very well. Despite being an amazing expansion, and people agree it's like one of the best expansions that have ever released for the game, it's just not sold as well as even Lightfall, as far as I'm aware. Which is quite shocking really, but I guess it makes sense. And the trend I've seen is that expansions year on year have just sold less and less well. And I think that makes sense because the new player experience for the game isn't great. So there's probably going to be more people leaving the game than there are coming to the game, and especially at that, if you're playing expansion after expansion and then you get a really bad one, only the hardcore fans are going to be buying the next one, and then the sort of normal people can then sort of trickle in. So I'm not really surprised by that when you sort of read into it a bit more. Seemingly Bungie went through a phase where they got acquired by Sony, then they sort of expanded rapidly. They started putting off a bunch of like incubation projects, they called it. Even one which was, I think, called Payback, which people were speculating was a Destiny 3 thing, but it actually was just like a spin-off Destiny game, which was like inspired by another game. That got canned, but seemingly they're now back to basically the amount of people they had prior to being acquired by Sony. So they're not actually in a terrible state. Obviously it's terrible for the people who lost their jobs, but even like a lot of them from this layoff wave actually went internal with Sony, and they're spinning up another studio to work on one of Bungie's incubation projects. So anyway, the general state of Destiny is a bit strange and up in the air at the moment. They say that their next year's plans aren't going to change, which I do believe, because I think the workforce that are working on Destiny hasn't really reduced too much, even though people have been laid off from different teams. I think people who are then working on some of the incubation projects that weren't laid off are then going to work in Destiny and Marathon. So I don't think Destiny's really going to suffer as a direct result of the layoffs. If anything, it's going to be better because they're going to focus on Destiny as the main moneymaker. Supposedly we have the 3 episodes this year, whatever Journeys is, or like whatever it is, I can't remember what it's called. The thing next year, supposedly that's like some sort of expansion-y thing. But then once that happens, they're going to go between like an alternation of like mini expansion episode, and then they'll only do big expansions like every now and then, which I think is honestly more sustainable. And to be honest, if they released a Final Shape level thing every 2 or 3 years, and they had mini things on the scale of like Curse of Osiris, or like obviously quality-wise better, but on the content-wise scale, like somewhere between episode and like Curse of Osiris of Warmind, it'd be pretty good. So that's the general typical stuff out of the way. Now comes the part of the video that I re-record over and over again in an attempt to get it perfectly right, which will not happen. So here we go. The last topic that I want to talk about is a bit heavier than all the other topics, given that it is real life related, and I basically never talk about real life on this channel, but I need to. I think is what it comes down to. My granda passed away a few months ago now at this stage, and it hit me rather hard, and I'm still hit by it rather hard, and I'm trying to sort of just get over it in a way. But I bring it up on this channel because ever since I was born, my granda and I have played video games on the PlayStation every week, basically. And it started with the PlayStation 1, all the way up to the PlayStation 5, of which I now own, which hurts. My granda and I bonded through playing games from a very young age, as I say, since I was born effectively, we either played games together or played games against each other or watched each other play games. And it started off with like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Driver, you know, the PlayStation classics, PS1 classics. But then we played Time Splitters 2 against each other in the PlayStation 2. And obviously there was games like Ratchet and Clank and then Half-Life, obviously, and Portal and Call of Duty and God of War and Assassin's Creed and just a lot of different games, which a lot of them I wouldn't have played if it weren't for my granda. I think the exposure to games at that young age, as well as the fact that there was somebody that I just bonded with so much the entirety of my life through these games, developed a part of me that is not obsessed with games but fascinated, I suppose, which I think translates into the YouTube videos quite well for Destiny. But that's where that part of me comes from, I think, and that's why this channel exists, which is why I feel compelled to make this, really. Also, I don't think I actually would have ever played Half-Life 2 if it weren't for my granda, and if I did, I don't think I would have been nearly as obsessed with it, and it wouldn't have been at as young an age as when I played it. I probably was a wee bit too young to play Half-Life 2, especially for the Ravenholm section, but I'm obsessed with Half-Life in general, and because of playing Half-Life 2, I then wanted to play Half-Life Alyx, and I need to build my own computer for that. So if it weren't for my granda, I wouldn't have a PC, probably, or at least one that I built. So I could go on for ages about my granda and all the different games he played and what he meant to me and all that, but I think at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter for a YouTube video as much as it just matters me having on my YouTube channel a sort of memento, for lack of a better word, for my granda. Out of nothing else, respect. I'm not very good at this sort of thing, I have to say. It's something that I don't like talking about real life on the channel, so this will be one of the very few times that I do, but I think if there's any moment to have started that or to make an exception, it's this exact thing. So yeah, I'm still very much trying to get over it. I don't know if I ever fully will, but I miss him. I don't even think he knew I had a YouTube channel. I don't tend to go around advertising the fact because it is the online portion of me and it's separate. I don't want this video to be sad. I don't want people to be going away from this video being all sad and down because I've talked about my granda being dead. But it only makes sense to mention the person who is at least partly responsible for the channel existing, at least being the catalyst for that portion of my personality. Thank you for watching any of my videos. Thank you for subscribing if you have subscribed. Thank you to Sidekick, of course, for being in the videos, for always being supportive of my silly YouTube escapade and helping with the thumbnails. And thank you to my granda, who, without him, there wouldn't be a Redstonemelon. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.